Making this video from scratch. This is Detective Dash here speaking, people. For those of you who, probably are target individuals, and for those of you who aren't target individuals, some of you guys probably are target individuals, some of you guys probably aren't. I'm going to be explaining to you guys the target individual program. You guys know what I mean? Before I start, I just want to say that if you're not a target individual, it's kind of it's going to be harder for you to understand this program. You guys know what I mean? If you're a target and you probably know this, you simply cannot be understood. Out of many one people, I know a lot of target individuals feel as though they can't be understood with all that they're going through. You guys know what I mean? They feel as though, it's like a mind prison, and you're just by yourself. You're just by yourself in that cell, just going through it, going through this program. So understanding gang stalking. So first of all, let's just start off by what is gang stalking? So a target individual. Gang stalking is a program that is done by perpetrators of the program in which they track, monitor, and surveil the target individual's every movement 24/7. You guys know what I mean? I explained that every single target individual worldwide has an implantar chip. I don't know all the reasons as to why they need the implantar chip in target individuals, but I know that GPS connections is one reason. Some that are working via sensor implantar chip GPS connections. So, these people are just, their job is to follow its target, follow you. You guys know what I mean? I got to find this out by paying attention, connecting the dots. One time there was a suspicious van that was parked up in front of my house. And I told myself that, I was going to keep an eye on it. I mean, obviously, it just parked up there and it looked too weird. So I told myself I was going to keep an eye on it. And then when my neighbor left, that's when it left. So my mind was telling me that maybe, they thought that was a target. Who knows? Like, you guys know what I mean? I was just putting two and two together. And also, that's not the first time that happened to me. You guys know what I mean? So I know that that's one of the reasons as to why they need the implantar chip. Not to mention other smart technology devices that they can censor, like remote neural monitoring, and correct me if I'm wrong, extra low frequency devices. You guys know what I mean? Extra low frequency weapons. I've been going through this program for 10 to 11 years with the possibility of being a target individual before that. You guys know what I mean? I went over my story multiple times, multiple times. I found out that I was a target when I noticed that there'll be police officers, there'll be local law enforcement following me to different cities that I go to. So take, for example, you're in the city that you're in right now. And, whatever the case may be, whether you go to a friend's house in another city, you see law enforcement from the city that you are in follow you to that city. You guys know what I mean? So, not only did I get to find out that they were following me from city to city, but on some, in front of my house and doing these weird synchronizations when I look through the window type of thing. So that can't be a coincidence. You guys know what I mean? I mean, there's no way. So for me to sit and argue with someone who don't believe in this program would be a waste of my time. You guys know what I mean? I'm watching stuff like that happen. You guys know what I mean? There's no argument there. You guys know what I mean? So I just leave it at, if you don't believe in it, I feel as though I'm that person that I feel as though at death all truth comes. You guys know what I mean? I'm just gonna leave that right there. So yeah, that's when I got to notice that there was something going on. And I remember at the time I was living over, I explained that I was living at my dad's house at the time, and he was living in a apartment complex that had 5 stories. It more looked like a hotel with like suites and everything. It had a downstairs lobby, and he lived on the 3rd floor. So just out of nowhere, they hired what they called were security guards, and at first, I didn't know about gang stalking. When these guys first, came immediately, I'm telling you guys, bro, immediately as they came, I knew that there was something deeper to it. This is one of the biggest, bro. This is one of the most surreal, craziest times of my life dealing with this program, bro. I'm telling you that I was living over my dad's at the time, and they hired what they call were security guards, and these guys walked around with AK-47 assault rifles, bro, if you try to say hi to these people, they won't say hi back. They did not want. They was not for you. You guys know what I mean? And they weren't nice at all. And they'll stop me a lot of times, and they'll try to harass me. And my family members would be like, "Leave him alone." But again, at the time, I didn't understand what was going on until I got to start paying extra attention. So I was in my living room, and I got to find out that from the little patio, the little balcony outside, you can go on it and you can look out, do whatever, take a smoke, whatever, chill, get some fresh air. So there'll be times when I used to always be out there. You guys know what I mean? So when I would go out there, I got to find out that perfectly synchronized was a surveillance car. It's usually an FBI surveillance van, but this time it was a FBI car, and it was actually the same. It was actually one of the same security cars. You guys know what I mean? So this was when I got to find out that they work through intelligent technology. For the moment I saw that car, not only that it's a security car and it's just randomly parked there for days, people. I'm talking about for days, and it's like you get this feeling. It's like you can feel the surveillance activity. I tell you no lie, as a target individual, I don't know if it's just that highly spiritual sense, or I don't know if it's some smart technology that they're using. You guys know what I mean, through the surveillance. I don't know how it works. You guys know what I mean, but I know that I felt it. And deep down, I know that was a surveillance car. You guys, but to make a long story short, I got tired of the harassment I was getting there, and I moved to my grandmother's house. Now, the owner of that apartment complex was this sketchy guy, man. This guy's former army. And every time when I go over there, he would ask me, why did I move? When I say every time, I mean every time. That's the only thing that he's interested in asking me. You guys know what I mean? He looked like a guy that's full of hate. I'm gonna just leave that right there. So he never really talked to me like that anyways. Only when he asked that question, and every time when he'd approach me and try to talk to me, it would only be to ask me, why did I move? You guys know what I mean? While I was there, he never talked to me. You guys know what I mean? So he had something to do with it, obviously. He owned the place, and he was probably the one who hired them. I mean, I don't know how that goes. You guys know what I mean? Man, I'm telling you, that was one of the biggest things, in this program. That done it for me. That was one of the biggest things in this program. But to make a long story short, I got tired of harassment I was getting there, and I moved to my grandmother's house. And I'm gonna continue on, people. Part 2 coming up.